Jeremy. It's been a crazy evening here at Marco Simone, and look, it's not the first time we've seen these flashpoints in Ryder Cups. Things spill over in Ryder Cups in the heat, the emotion. Most notably, Brookline 24 years ago is still fresh in a lot of people's memories. But Rory McIlroy feeling he had a legitimate axe to grind, that Joe LaCava, Patrick Cantlay's caddy, was in his way as he was trying to prepare to make a putt which would have saved half a point for Europe. That spilled over with some of the members of the European team getting involved as well. There was a expletive-laden exchange between Joe LaCava and Shane Lowry on the back of the 18th, as Rory McIlroy and Matt Fitzpatrick both still had putts for that half point. It spilled over, as you've been reporting, into the car park. Rory seemed to be gesticulating towards who we presumed to be Joe LaCava, although he wasn't in shot, with Bones Mackay, another one of the US caddies, restraining Rory. And ironically, it was actually Shane Lowry who then dragged Rory and shoved him into the back of that car. But look, this will have fired up the European side. There's no question about that. And it is kind of ironic that Patrick Cantlay is the man at the centre of all of this, because, as you say, we reported earlier on today that Patrick Cantlay believes players should be paid to play in the Ryder Cup, that he wasn't wearing a cap as a protest against this. I have then had his agent tell me that the reason he wears the cap is not a protest against that. However, he refused to confirm or deny whether Patrick Cantlay does believe that players should be paid to play in the Ryder Cup. Now, neither of these incidents are particularly new, to be quite honest. Patrick Cantlay's agent was telling me the sole reason Patrick Cantlay doesn't wear a cap is that it doesn't fit properly. He hasn't found one that he's comfortable wearing. Rory McIlroy in Ryder Cups gone by hasn't worn a cap for the very same reason. He couldn't find one that fit. And indeed, if it is the case that Patrick Cantlay believes players should be paid, this is nothing new either. In previous Ryder Cups, other players have made that same suggestion. But when he entered the press conference after that crucial point, which has given the US this big wave of momentum, I put it to Patrick Cantlay that I asked Patrick Cantlay whether he does believe players should be paid.
Do you believe players should be paid to play in the Ryder Cup?
It's not about that. It's just about Team USA and representing our country.
Do you believe they should be paid? Can you answer the question?
That's all I've got to say about that.
Can you tell us, for your lack of wearing a cap, the reason behind it?
The hat doesn't fit. It didn't fit at Whistling Straits, and it didn't fit this week. Everyone knows that.
Does it need to fit for a team photo? Can you not wear it for a team photo?
I was going to go no hat all week regardless, so I figured I'd keep it consistent.
There is not a riff in this team room. This is one of the most united teams I have ever been associated with. And when it comes to the dollar sign, I don't mean to sound cliche, but the Ryder Cup is about more than any of that. It's about standing with a band of guys to represent your nation, to represent more than you in the game of golf. It's a sport for 1 week. And you know what? I would say if there's anything that deals with money, there's guys that would pay to play in this.
Zach Johnson, as you can hear there, fairly adamant that there is no rift within the US team. However, it is the case that Patrick Cantlay didn't attend a gala dinner earlier this week. It is the case that Patrick Cantlay didn't join the rest of his teammates for a scouting mission to Marco Simone a couple of weeks before the Ryder Cup, and I would imagine there's still a fair bit of reporting on this story to come. What is clear is that Patrick Cantlay's putt on 18 has given the USA some momentum heading into tomorrow, and 5 points is still a huge gap to overturn. You'll remember the miracle at Medina back in 2012. It was a 4-point gap on that occasion, so USA have got an even tougher task on their hands. But this place will be packed to the rafters come tomorrow morning. The Europe needing 4 points to reclaim the Ryder Cup, and the USA perhaps with a bit of pep in their step now, looking to retain it.